Scott Laney is an amazing guy who volunteered with us to share his inspiring story about the steps he took to prepare for a successful career in sales. And he's with us today. Scott, thanks so much for being with us again.
Thanks for having me, Michael.
Well, today's a special day. We have a few more days before you surrender to the Yankton Federal Prison Camp, where you're going to continue your commitment of living as a contributing citizen. Tell us a little bit about the strategies that you've put in place to make that happen.
Well, there's been a lot of preparation. As we spoke about yesterday, there's an interesting balance between wanting to enjoy the time you have left and go out and do the things you love, but also preparing and sowing seeds that will blossom and give you a fruitful tomorrow. On the personal hand, I've been preparing my house to rent it out on Airbnb, and there's been a lot of packing, organizing, cleaning. On the professional standpoint, I've been working with you, trying to make a plan and start taking the steps so that I can be proactive while I'm in prison and start building a new career for myself so I can get out and hit the ground running.
The reality is you've done all the work yourself, Scott. We just try, our entire team, really, Sam and Justin and Larry and everybody else on our team really just tries to show the strategies that worked for us. But we're so impressed with the real proactive efforts you've taken, from trying to influence your pre-sentence investigation report for sentencing, and now getting ready for this journey. Scott, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you expect to accomplish during this time that you're at the Yankton Federal Prison Camp?
Like I've mentioned on the website before, I have some mountains in front of me, and there's some pretty big ones, and it's going to take quite a bit of work to climb them. And I have three main things I'm focusing on. The first one is I'd like to contribute while I'm away at Yankton. I don't know exactly what that looks like, but I like to help other people while I'm there. And I like to be as productive as I can with the time that I have there. And through the work that I'm doing now and there, the other thing that I'd like to achieve is to sow some seeds that will help me with a career on the other end of this. And through the body of work I'm creating with the blogging and the website, I think that will give me that record. And then finally, hopefully that record will help me advocate for myself to get liberty at sooner levels, showing that I've built a record that I can overcome this. I've learned from it, I've helped other people, and I'm worthy.
Well, you're certainly worthy in my eyes, Scott, and there's never been a better time to be doing that for somebody who's going into the criminal justice system, because the First Step Act provides some mechanisms that may put you in the pathway for an earlier liberty. And I think that documenting your story of contributing to your community, documenting your story of how you're committed to living as a law-abiding, contributing citizen, all of that is going to help you when you meet these people that you don't even know who they are right now. And I really applaud you for having the wisdom to look into the future and say, this is the way I am going to position myself for the best possible outcome. It's not the best outcome. Best outcome is you don't go in.
Sure, this is true.
So Scott, tell us a little bit about your expectations on the other side of this journey when you do come home.
Whew. Wow, I've spent so much time thinking about what Yankton would be like. And lately that's transitioned from, Scott, you need to prepare for what life is going to look like after that. And I think this ties in with what I talked about earlier. I think there could be some challenges having a felony charge, and there needs to be a way to overcome that. And I think the quick reactive way most people would is they want to explain their story. They want to explain how it's unfair. But my idea with the blog and the website is that I have documentation, I have a record, I have something that people can look at on their own schedule at their own convenience that shows why I'm worthy of a second chance, why I've grown from this, why I'm a contributing member of society. And my hope is that all those things combined will help prepare me for the other opportunities I find. Along with that, and what we mentioned earlier with being productive in prison, I'm going to do so much reading and so much learning so that when I come out, all that work I've done will hopefully open up other opportunities as well. Maybe things that I wouldn't have had the time to learn about had I not gone to camp.
Well, one thing I can assure you is that many people go into prison and they don't take those steps. And so what happens is on the other side of the journey, we might ask them, tell us about what you've done or explain this situation. And they come up with a lot of, well, I helped a lot of people. I read a lot of books. I did this or that. you're going to have these real details, and those details are going to help you overcome a lot, just like it helped me. And I never ask anybody to do anything that I didn't do, and I'm super glad that you're going to be pursuing this. We've got a team that stands ready to help you along the way, and we encourage your viewers to check back on your blog. We're also going to create a newsletter for you, so you're going to have to keep that newsletter populated, meaning you write it back, and every month what our team will do, and our team are formerly incarcerated people that are going to log into your website. They're going to retrieve your information. They're going to put a link to your information in a email newsletter. And anybody that signs up to your newsletter that wants to get updated, that way they don't have to go and check. They're just going to get an email. Hey, here's the latest updates that Scott wrote from Yankton. And people will be able to follow along your journey. And all of that, I hope, will be as profitable for you on the other side as it was for me. In fact, as you know, I'm recruiting you because I really want you to join our team and work with us when you come home.
Yep, I'm excited for that, and I'm hesitant to even say this, but there's a part of me that is excited for the journey ahead. I'm ready to get there. I'm ready to get going. I'm ready to do the work and start preparing now for life on the other side of all of this.
I think that what you're going to find is the hardest part of this entire journey is what you've been going through for the past several years. And once you get there, a lot of those challenges are going to be kind of falling off your shoulder because you're going to be immersed in it. And you've also got finality. The worst case, right? You know what a release date is. You know how you can work to advance it, but you know the worst case. And what I really love about what you've done is you've got a very detailed 2-year plan. So we know what you will accomplish within 2 years. And I think you can expect everybody on our team and on your team to be holding you accountable for that, which gives you a reason to keep fighting.
That's true. 100%.
Scott, do you have any lingering concerns or fears or worries that you might want to share with somebody else and something to look back on when you get to the other side of this journey, and you're going to say, wow, I guess they weren't as bad? Because a lot of times I think the fear of the unknown is the greatest thing. What are your fears right now? I think when we look back, we'll see they're not as bad.
I certainly hope that is the case. My fear right now is, what is life going to be like on the other side when I come out on day one? And what I'm doing is preparing for that. So hopefully when I get to that, all the preparations I've done will let that weight fall off my shoulders, and I'll find out it's not nearly as bad as I thought. The other thing, and you mentioned this earlier, and a lot of other people have mentioned this, that when you get there, there's almost a sense of relief. I've heard it from everyone, and I'm looking forward to that sense of relief, to that exhale, to that sigh, to say, okay, the hard part's over. We're counting down the clock. We're working. We're moving forward, and that should be a good feeling.
Well, I'm glad that you allowed us to be a part of this preparatory process for you, and I'm glad that the outcome was better than what your attorney suggested it was going to be at sentencing. And I'm super confident that on the other side of this journey, it's going to be better for you as well. I can assure you that when you transition to home confinement, you have a job with us, and that's going to make things easier. We will have really built our nonprofit up in such a manner that we can help satisfy any requirements of the probation department and let you have the highest level of liberty while you're on home confinement and while you're simultaneously building a career, developing our business-to-business space.
Thank you, Michael. I really appreciate it, and I'm really looking forward to it.
We're grateful to have you on the team. Thanks, Scott.
Thank you.
Let me think something here. What else I want to include in here? As an aside, we're going to tap into a couple of the other videos that Scott published just so that they'll follow this. So the next two videos are one that he published a week before he surrendered, and the other one he published yesterday. We encourage you to watch the video section of his site, because although he may not have access to video on the other side of the journey, when he's doing something special, I'll just take the time of making a video and being a proxy for him. So thanks. Stay tuned to the scottlaney.com.